Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. I know I am having a sore throat today, but well, it has been happening. But as I said, always cricket is a big passion for me, so I will go. So, dear fans, friends, subscribers, welcome to the daily cricket show on YouTube here on Cricket Happenings. And as far as today's Cricket Happening show goes, well, the other day, as you know, West Indies couldn't make 4 runs in that last match against Zimbabwe, and it ended in a tie. And today they ended up on the reverse side, not even a tie. It ended up with, in fact, the Sri Lankans getting a 1 run victory. So you could just imagine how close that innings was. It was set up by Evin Lewis, who went on to register his maiden ODI century, and what a knock it was, a smashing knock, I would say. But still, that was not enough. With Pradeep getting 9 runs were required, and the Windies ending up a one run short. So well, that was very sad. But but that is what cricket is all about. And West Indies had to settle for a defeat here by just 1 run. And when you lose by 1 run, what is the pain it causes to the team? Well, that was the situation. It was a high-scoring game, but West Indies challenged it admirably well. But in the end, the victors were Sri Lanka. So I'll be talking about that game, and we have another 2.5 hours to go for an historic test match to start. And the reason I say historic is because South Africa have never played in a day-night test match with a pink ball. Well, Australia have against New Zealand, as you would remember. But we are just 2.5 hours away from match getting underway, the final test match getting underway at the Adelaide Oval between South Africa and Australia. South Africa definitely, absolutely the tails up. They are in the driver's seat. They already won the series, but they have said they want to make it 3-0. And if at all South Africa managed to do that, they would become the only team in the history to have beaten Australia in Australia 3-0. But definitely it has been marked by the du Plessis ball tampering incident, which du Plessis has definitely not subscribed. He has said that he feels he is still not guilty about it. In the sense, he feels that this is not something that there is nothing done deliberately, which probably one of these days, if I get time, we will definitely talk about whether any of the nothing should be allowed other than water to drink, I suppose, on a cricket ground. Even the chewing gum, probably one does not know whether it really brings a shine on the ball or what. One does not know, but one has to really get into it. That is something, when if I have time one day, I will take it as a topic, and we will discuss it. So, but definitely, and then so that is the historic test match is going to say. South Africa have never played day-night test cricket with a pink ball. It will be very interesting, and also some cricket news. But first, let's head towards the first match. As I said, as we are talking about the match that happened, as I said, it was between West Indies and South Africa. West Indies and Sri Lanka in the Tri-Series match in Zimbabwe at the Queen Sports Club in Bulawayo. So Sri Lanka were the ones who took first strike, and their start was not good. Shannon Gabriel bowling excellently, as he has been doing all time. He actually very unlucky that he had to leave the field with an injury, which was very sad because he bowled only 5 overs. But he was the one who gave the very early breakthrough with really getting Kushal Pereira to play his favourite stroke, which is his flick of his legs that he does. And but this was a pinpoint Yorker from Shannon Gabriel, the pacey guy. He really did Pereira in for pace, as Pereira shaped to actually flick the delivery, but the furniture was disturbed and Pereira was gone, bowled by Gabriel for 7 balls with 1-4. So it was a good start for West Indies there. And then Niroshan Dikwala joined proceedings along with Dhananjay De Silva. Well, we saw Niroshan Dikwala get into his stride pretty quickly, as he started driving boundaries And also at the other end, Dhananjay De Silva was good on the pull shot, as you know, and he was also doing a fine job. And suddenly, after Shannon Gabriel's early strikes, the Sri Lankan innings really got underway. From 18 for 1, it was a very, very good partnership. I would say it's an exciting partnership because if you look at it, they consumed 17 point odd overs and they put on a 105 run partnership, and in itself is a very good partnership. So it was Dhananjay De Silva and Niroshan Dikwala in the middle, with Dhananjay De Silva playing some stroke and also Niroshan Dikwala really showing us that the Dil scoop is still there, as he got one of the balls from I think it was Jason Holder, if I'm not wrong. He beautifully took him up, and in a sense it was an off cutter, and he beautifully played the Dil scoop, and it went over the fine leg for a boundary. So Niroshan Dikwala was looking good, Dhananjay De Silva was looking good, and then finally with this partnership came to an end with a score on 123 in the 21st over, when Dhananjay De Silva was a goner, as he was caught on ball Brathwaite for 58 of 60, there is 7 fours, also showing Dhananjay De Silva showing some great consistency in his batting, I would say. Niroshan Dikwala, then we had the out of form Kushal Mendis slowly striding in and joining Dikwala, but today, as I mentioned yesterday in my Twitter, that Kushal Mendis has to get into form, and that's what precisely happened. So Kushal Mendis came into some very, very big form. We saw that he was getting the strokes going, he was flowing beautifully, and as far as the spinners was concerned, he was beautifully hitting sixes. In fact, he slog swept, I think, Ashley Nurse for a six, and then he also played some breathtaking shots, I would say. And Kushal Mendis, as you know, is a beautiful talent for Sri Lanka. And this was the first time that Kushal Mendis really went over 50, and he played a long innings. But a very sad thing that both Niroshan Dikwala and Mendis, after 123 for 2, it was a good pitch to bat on. The ball was nicely coming onto the bat, so stroke making was never a difficulty. And they added 107 runs for the third wicket, so the momentum was kept going. So that is what it is. In fact, as you know, De Silva, Dhananjay De Silva and Dikwala combined to play 17 odd overs, and here Kushal Mendis and Dikwala combined to play 18 overs, and they put on a 107 runs partnership. So another century partnership there, which really set the tone for Sri Lanka. And we saw that both of them depart by missing the century. They truly deserved a century, but it so happened that Kushal Mendis was a victim of the bowling of Nurse for 94 of 73 Ws, 7 fours and 5 sixes. What a knock that was. That was a sort of a splendid knock, one could say, from Kushal Mendis. And he really got a really good platform to bat on. As I said, it was a good batting pitch. The ball was nicely coming onto the bat, and stroke making was never going to be difficult. And so Kushal Mendis really capitalized. 94 of 73 deliveries, 7 fours and 5 sixes. Niroshan Dikwala also doing a fine job, coming one drop and contributing 94 of 106 balls with 7 fours and 1 6. Shehan Jayasuriya was out pretty quickly, bowled by Brathwaite for 9 of 12 deliveries. After that, Taranga and Pathirana chipped in. Gunaratne was out for 6. Taranga chipping in 26 of 19, 3 fours, and Pathirana, Sachin Pathirana was not out on 24 of 16, that was 3 fours, as Sri Lanka went on to a big score of 330 for 7, and that was something which was very required, very rightly required on this very good batting pitch. The bowling, Gabriel 1 for 29, Jason Holder was the pick of the bowlers, 3 for 57, Brathwaite league 64 runs with 7 overs with 1 wicket to show besides his name. Ashley Nurse 8 overs 1 for 58. Craig Brathwaite 10 overs 1 for 56, and Suleiman Ben 10 overs stonked for 59 runs without a wicket. As far as West Indies were concerned, the chase started off in fine fashion, I thought, with West Indies really telling, I mean, after looking at the score, they thought that Brathwaite is someone who is more of a plodder, and so they decided to promote Evin Lewis as the opener along with Johnson Charles, and runs were really cascading. Even Lewis was looking very, very powerful. The strokes that he was playing was all, I would say, hit with immense power. At the other end, Johnson Charles was also doing a fine job, and the partnership was racing along nicely, and they were absolutely equal to the challenge with a run rate which was set of 6.60. They were doing a fine job. In fact, they were going at a clip of 9 runs in the power play, as Johnson Charles and Evin Lewis started off in wonderful fashion. But then Lucknow got rid of Johnson Charles with the score when Johnson's individual score was 26 of 24 deliveries with 4 fours and 1 6. And as Brathwaite came in as 1 down. Brathwaite, well, he didn't do much. I mean, as I said, he occupied a lot of balls, 16 of 33 deliveries, and then he finally was bowled by Gunaratne for 16. But Evin Lewis was going strong. He was stroking the ball beautifully, and it was good to see as he was racing along nicely. But we definitely saw that this West Indies innings got a sort of real tumble as wickets started falling pretty quickly, as they lost Shai Hope run out for 25 32 deliveries, 2 fours. Jonathan Carter was run out by Taranga of 6 of 5 deliveries, and also Roman Powell, who normally is a good hitter of the ball, but he could not really come to the party. LBW ball Kulashekar for 10 of 13 deliveries with 1 4. But and Evin Lewis definitely needed someone to stay with him. But Evin Lewis has really set the tempo, and he had really set the West Indies on the victory march, as he was really playing some good strokes, and he had also raced to a century, and he had the company of Jason Holder. So Jason Holder came and joined him, and then Jason Holder was also looking pretty good. He realized that he would allow Evin Lewis to play all his strokes because he knew his wicket was very important, and that's what Jason Holder did. He nurtured Evin Lewis along, and Evin Lewis went on merrily as things were going on very well, and Evin Lewis has done a fine job to actually have West Indies score at 262 for 6, and things looked absolutely in control. It was just a matter of keeping the cool and slowly proceeding towards the target on this good batting pitch. But the problem was that Evin Lewis, after contributing a very good 148 of 122 deliveries, 15 fours and 4 sixes, was unfortunately run out. There was sort of a misunderstanding that happened between Evin Lewis and Jason Holder, in the resultant victim being Evin Lewis, run out with a Mendes-Dikwala combination, and that was a big wicket for the Lankans, and that really gave them the spur to really challenge the West Indies. Carlos Brathwaite contributed 19 of 16 balls with 1 6, and that was a blow for them, as he lost his stumps to Kulashekara. But then they also lost Ashley Nurse for 2, and it was the turn for Holder to really take on the initiative at that stage, being the recognized player, and Suleiman Ben. And then finally the match came down to the wire with 9 runs required, and Suleiman Ben really one thought that probably West Indies will be winning this match, as Suleiman Ben struck a 6. But after striking the 6, 9 runs were required of the final over. Suleiman Ben struck a 6, and he brought West Indies close to victory with only 3 runs required with Jason Holder at the other end. But the problem was that Suleiman Ben was a victim of the bowling of Nuwan Pradeep after hitting that 6. So he lost his wicket in the 5th delivery. He was gone for 11, and that really tilted the scales in the favour of the Lankans. Shannon Gabriel on his final delivery could not do much and had to be content, and then finally it was all over with the West Indies finishing just 1 run short, and the final tally was 329, and Sri Lanka had made 330. It was a 1 run victory. As I said, a 1 run victory always pains, and West Indies would be definitely ruining the fact that they lost this match. So Nuwan Pradeep definitely keeping his cool, defending 9 runs and giving away 7 runs. 10 overs 1 for 65 for Nuwan Pradeep. Patirana 7 overs costly, 51 runs with no wicket. Gunaratne 9 overs 147. Shayan Jasuriya was done for 20. Lakmal went for 67 of his 10 with 2 wickets, and Kulashekara was slammed for 73 with 2 wickets. So one feels sorry for Evan Lewis. What a knock that was of his. 148 is his highest score in one-day internationals, and he did a fine job. But the man of the match went to the winning team, Kushal Mendes, for his, as I said, Kushal Mendes' innings was a brilliant one. He truly deserved the honours. He was named man of the match. And thus ended the match, and it also ended up with points for Sri Lanka. They got 4 points, and West Indies ended up with 0. So West Indies, the pressure will build on West Indies to have a must-win match in their next match against Zimbabwe. So that is as far as the match between West Indies and Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka is concerned. But what an interesting match that was. Now, just talking about, just keeping the topic going there, now we shift the attention on, as I said, we probably have another 2 hours or 10 minutes probably for the final test match, which is going to be a day-night test match, which is going to be played at the Adelaide Oval with a pink ball, or South Africa playing day-night cricket for the first time, a day-night test match. Australia have definitely played that, and it's a very important match for South Africa. If South Africa can make history in this particular match by actually defeating this Australian side, which has seen a lot of changes, large-scale changes have been made since 1984 when Kim Hughes, the former Australian captain Kim Hughes, retired in tears, as you would all know. So definitely one is really looking forward. There are a lot of debutants in the Australian side. They have Matt Renshaw, they have Peter Hanscom, who has scored heavily in the domestic tourneys here. He has been the top scorer in the Sheffield Shield in Australia. And Nick Maddinson, another exciting cricketer who likes to really get on with the game, and he's also of whom the Australian skipper Stephen Smith has proven has really said a few good words about him. But one thing, the bowling is going to be in the hands of Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood. They have decided to drop Chad Sayers from the 12, and they have instead included Jackson Bird, who's also a very good wicket type bowler, and one has to see how he goes. And I think Australia will be definitely under pressure, no doubt, because as I said, there is no team in the history that has gone on to beat Australia 3-0 in Australia, a clean sweep, and that is something, if South Africa does it, that will be history. That will be history. Definitely history will be created, but South Africa will be eyeing that. They definitely have, one has to see how's the morale in the South African team after it was marred by an incident of Du Plessis, who was called for bowel tampering, and he was found guilty by the ICC. As far as South Africa are concerned, Australia have good knowledge about them. South Africa definitely played a sort of a tour game, in the sense they played a warm-up match where Quinton de Kock did well, as you would know, and also Hashim Amla, I suppose. South Africa, they have, I'm sure their confidence personified, marring the incident to Du Plessis. Du Plessis probably, his morale might be a bit down after his name has been tarnished a bit here. But nevertheless, Stephen Cook, Dean Elgar, I think these South Africans are really looking very formidable right on paper, and they have already proved it on the field as well. So they are looking absolutely up for the game, no doubt about it. And whether one was thinking whether they would probably include Tabrai Shamsi, the left-arm wrist spinner, because he has been found to be a bit effective, because what happens is the pink ball sometimes when the left-arm wrist spinner bowls, it has happened, the reports that has been coming in, I mean the news that one has got out of the matches which was played in India, they felt that Kuldeep Yadav was a man they couldn't really judge his bowling, especially the wrist spinner when he bowls. So one does not know whether South Africa will be tempted to include Tabrai Shamsi, because I'm sure they're going to go for the jugular, and I'm not going to be surprised if Tabrai Shamsi is being given an opportunity with a pink ball, and they probably drop Keshav Maharaj, who has also been very impressive during the series. Well, one has to really wait and watch as to what really is in store. Probably we have another 2 hours time before the proceedings start in the day-night test match with the pink ball at the Adelaide Oval. South Africa will be looking forward to it. As I said, they are they're playing their first ever day-night test match in their history. Well, so good luck to both the teams. And I don't think I will have enough time to dwell on anything else here. That's about it. That's a wrap on this cricket show for today. Hope to see you all tomorrow on my next cricket show, narrating on this particular match on the first day's play between South Africa and Australia. Till such time, this is your host Ram saying good night.